This is Andy Perroff, Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Dave Caldwell here in Manchester. Dave, let's work our way through a very good card here in Manchester. Well, some fights were very good, some not very good. Start off with that headline one where CARROLL defeating Scott Quigg 11th round stoppage. What was your thoughts on their fight?
I thought CARROLL was fantastic. I thought he was basically punch perfect, and I really enjoyed watching him do what he did, but I didn't enjoy watching the fight because of how it panned out for Scott.
I've seen a lot of people over social media suggesting that maybe Scott, the corner should have thrown him a towel a bit earlier. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah. He never won any stage of that fight. He never looked like he was capable of winning any stage of that fight. And when a fighter is at a stage in his career where you're asking questions about how much they got left going into the fight. I was talking about this at a Crossroads fight where how much has Scott Quigg got left. And you're hearing about people seeing him getting hammered when he was over the wild card and getting tough sparring and things like that. And you know that this man will give absolutely everything and he's got no quit in him whatsoever. He's got no quit. You need to protect him. And, it's all right. We as trainers and as coaches, we like it when us fighters win and are looking good. We get slated when us fighters get beat, but ultimately that doesn't matter. What matters is that we look after our fighters. When they've got big balls, you can't afford to have big balls in a corner, and you can't afford to you can't afford to be worried about the wrath coming from them for pulling them out. You can't afford to worry about, well, if I throw this towel in, he's going to be pissed off at me, he's going to fall out at me, or he's going to do this. It doesn't matter. If that's what it takes, then it doesn't matter, because ultimately you've got his health in there, and it's not about his health now tonight. You can say, oh well, John Carroll don't punch hard, this rah rah, but he's taking clean shots, getting absolutely hammered all the way through the fight. And it's the accumulative effect. It's what's going to happen to him and how many bubbles is he blowing in a few years' time. That's what you've got to look at. And, it might sound harsh and I might sound like a cock for saying it, but I'm saying it because I found it really uncomfortable watching. The kid had no answers. And Scott is giving his life to this sport. He's giving his life to it. And you saw it at the end, when they did throw the towel in eventually, he was fuming and he was arguing with it. But he's always going to argue with it. 99% of fighters, if you do that, they're going to argue with it. But that's your responsibility. Like I said, with the pats on the back and people praising you, saying, oh, you great coach, you've done this, you've done that, blah, blah. With all that comes a responsibility to when shit goes wrong, you have to be willing to do the hard thing, and it's not like it was a surprise to us, because we were talking in our meetings beforehand. We was talking about how much Scott's got left. Would there be a point where do you think the towel might come in? These are conversations that people were having, because we knew that this is the Crossroads fight. We knew that this was a stage that Scott Quigg's at. So it's not like you've gone in there. It's fresh kid, fresh fight, whatever, blah, blah, and it's a big shock that, he's just been outboxed and this. You're talking about, you've got to look at things as stages of fights, how far somebody's gone backwards, and it's just not there. You're asking your man to do certain things and they just can't do it. Like I said, I might be coming across as a cock, but it's it's not just myself, or the whole lot of us that were all sat there together, we were fuming. It was just horrible to watch. But then at the same time, you can't take that away from John Carroll, because he was brilliant. He boxed brilliant. I'm really happy for him, because he's a showman, and he's a completely contrast in personalities to what Scott Quigg is. But he boxed brilliant. He did everything that he had to do.
Obviously, just to move away from our headline fight, just get your thoughts on a couple of other ones. Your old charge, Anthony Fowler. Don't really know what to say about his fight. His opponent not really setting the world alight. Some criticism of social media, not towards Anthony, but towards his opponent. Nothing that Anthony could do as a last-minute opponent being pulled in, but What can we take away from his win and his first bout working with Shane?
So his opponent coming at last minute, I believe on Tuesday. So he was always going to be naturally a smaller man, and because he coming at 11-1. So if he's coming on Tuesday, not had time to lose lots of weight and things like that. So he's coming at 11-1. He is what he is. The only problem is that he's got in a ring with some boots that are probably from 1950s that have never ever been resold. You know, it was doing the moonwalk and everything in there. It was bad. So that's what made it look worse than what it was. Listen, it was going to get blasted out anyway. Yeah. So I feel sorry for him. I think his feet were moving great. He was boxing nice and long. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked great.
I remember like before the fight, they pulled up the Scott Fitzgerald fight with Anthony up onto the screens, and I saw you watching it. When you was there watching that, I mean, obviously watching Anthony in the ring there, was it hard for you to watch Anthony with another trainer? You not being in the corner, you know, barking instructions at him?
Not really, because he's moved on to better things. You know, he's gone on and if he had gone to, I can say this, if he'd gone to somebody that I thought were a shit trainer or was gonna, then it's something where you're gonna be like, oh. But he's gone on to a really good coach who's very successful, who will get the best out of him because Fowler will listen to him and do what he wants him to do, and so it's a good move. So no, I'm quite happy for him.
It's obviously not something which I want to dwell on. I'm move away from that now between you and Anthony. Going on to the Zach Parker-Rohan-Murdock fight, what do you make of Zach's victory late stoppage?
I thought he boxed really well. Really well. It was a good fight for him. A fight for him that he will get a lot of experience from, that he can use moving forward, that will add to him as a fighter, mentally and physically. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really good. He had a couple of rounds where it looked like, oh, it's turning now. Murdock is starting to get to grips with him. But then what was good is that he had those moments and then he controlled them and then turned it back round and then just dominated. I thought he boxed really well. I was impressed with that. So yeah, it's a good fight for him and great experience for him.
Obviously highly ranked with the WBO. He's with IBF as well, I believe. Do you think he's world level yet? Or
No. And that's not taking anything away from him. Listen, what you have to remember is fighters have to take their opportunities when they get an opportunity. You're not going to turn it down. Of course he wants his world title shot straight away. But from a distance and from a position of perspective, were they the number one and number two in that division? Rankings say yeah, but are they the first and the second best in the rankings? No, not realistically. It was a good quality international Commonwealth title level fight, that kind of level fight I thought it was. But that doesn't mean that they're ready now, because by rights, if you're going to say that, then that by rights, the winner of that is ready to fight Billy Joe, Canelo, people like that. Not yet. No need to as well. Just now he's in that position, get some learning fights that are going to bridge that gap.
Well, Dave, we'll leave it there now because I know I've taken up plenty of your time and you're going to want to go home and relax and put your feet up. So I appreciate it as always. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thanks.